On to week 15 now of this 2016 NFL season. Just 3 weeks remain in the regular season, so do or die time for many teams around the league. Should be a very interesting week of football here. I will be involved in 3 games in this week 15 and would like to get to them now quickly. Let's start in Kansas City with one of the week's most interesting games. The Chiefs host the Tennessee Titans. Kansas City a 5-point favorite at BetSafe. 43 the total in this game. Both these teams have been playing well lately, especially the Chiefs. They've won 8 of their last 9. They're now 10-3. They'd be the 2 seed in the AFC if the season ended today. They do have a lead in the AFC West. But I'll tell you what, this is a tough matchup for them because Tennessee's been playing well also. The Titans have won 3 of their last 4, included in that stretch wins over Denver. That came just last week. And the Green Bay Packers, who are playing better football these days. You know, the Titans are sort of an old school type of football team. They can run the ball and they can stop the run. 3rd in the NFL in rush yards per game. That running back tandem of DeMarco Murray and Derrick Henry averaging over 144 yards per game on the ground. The Titans also 3rd in the NFL against the run. They're surrendering just 86.6 yards per game. Now, the Titans are not particularly good in the secondary. As a matter of fact, only Atlanta has surrendered more passing yards than Tennessee this season. However, they're playing a team here where that might not really hurt them. Kansas City certainly not a wide-open, spread-you-out type of offense. Very close to the vest. Their quarterback, Alex Smith, one of the original check-down Charlies. This guy does not challenge many defenses down the field. And quite frankly, he doesn't have the type of receiving core that would lend itself to that type of offense, really a downfield passing attack. Tight end Travis Kelce, Alex Smith's most trusted receiver. So I'm not sure Kansas City going to be able to take advantage of Tennessee's defensive weakness, which again is that secondary. And the other side of the ball might be a problematic matchup for these Chiefs as well. We mentioned the Titans can really run the football, 3rd in the league in rush yards per game. Well, the Achilles heel of this Kansas City defense is their inability to stop the run. The Chiefs just 27th in the NFL against the run. They surrender 122.9 yards per game on the ground. And they could be even worse in that department in this game because star linebacker Derrick Johnson, a key component of that Kansas City front 7, he ruptured his Achilles last week. He will miss the remainder of the season. So I have real concerns about how the Kansas City defense is going to match up with this Tennessee offense. I think the Titans might be able to do just what they want to do, which is pound the football. And look, I know this game is in Kansas City, but the Chiefs have not been a great bet at home this season, just 2-4 against the number in their last 6 home games, giving a 5-point number to the Titans here. I think the Titans keep this one close, might even win it outright. I think they're a good bet as a 5-point dog in Kansas City. Let's move on now to Minnesota, where the Vikings host the Indianapolis Colts. Minnesota a 4-point favorite at BetSafe, 45 the total in this game. This a must-win game for both these teams. The Vikings at 7-6, but 2 games behind Detroit in the NFC North. Still, though, they're right in the mix for an NFC wildcard berth. So, again, this is a must-win for Minnesota. The Colts now at 6-7. They've fallen the game off the pace in the AFC South. They have to win their last 3 games and need a little bit of help to qualify for the playoffs. So, this a do-or-die situation for the Indianapolis Colts. They have lost 2 of their last 3 overall, but the Colts have been good on the road lately. They have won 3 straight games on the road. They've scored 106 combined points in those 3 games. Now, look, they're going to need all the offense they can get against this Minnesota Vikings team. The Vikings, 2nd in the NFL in total defense, 1st in points allowed. They're surrendering just 17.3 points per game. However, the Vikings are just awful on the other side of the ball. Really, ever since Adrian Peterson went down with that early season injury, the Vikings have been very one-dimensional on offense. They're really a pass-first team. Problem is that dimension not very good. Sam Bradford, a middling quarterback. I think we can safely say that at this point in his career. And he's not surrounded by a whole lot in terms of skill position talent. The Vikings dead last in the NFL in rushing offense. Look, they're next to last in the NFL in total offense. Only the LA Rams worse in that department. And the Indianapolis Colts, even though they haven't been very good on defense this season, they're starting to play better on that side of the ball. They have held the opposition to 22 points or fewer in 3 of their last 4 games. That is much better than what we saw from this Colts defense over the first half of the season. And again, Minnesota just so bad on offense. I mean, look, I have watched this Minnesota team nearly every week. I've bet on them fairly frequently this season because I have a lot of faith in their defense. And frankly, I've felt that Sam Bradford was maybe a little bit better than he's been given credit for throughout the last 2 or 3 years. But I've seen enough from this Vikings team. They are downright dysfunctional on the offensive side of the ball. Just don't think they're good enough. Just don't think they can produce enough points to be given a 4-point number to a team like Indianapolis. Like we said, the Colts' last 3 road games, they have scored 106 combined points. Andrew Luck, one of the best young quarterbacks in the NFL. They have a top 10 passing offense. I guess if you like the Vikings here, the template you use is last week where the Colts lost 22-17 to the Houston Texans. The Texans, a team somewhat similar to the Vikings, a defensive team that's not very good on offense. But I'll tell you what, the Texans much better than Minnesota on offense. I don't think you can quite compare that Houston offense to the dysfunction in Minnesota. So look, I like the Colts here. I think the points could really come in handy. Minnesota has played a lot of very close games this season. I think the Colts could win this game outright, but I think they're a good bet as a 4-point dog in Minnesota. Moving on now, the final game I like in this Week 15. Boy, what about an AFC North bloodbath? The Pittsburgh Steelers going on the road to face the Cincinnati Bengals. This a nasty rivalry. The Steelers a 3-point favorite at BetSafe, 44.5 the total here. Now Pittsburgh has really got it together. They've won 4 straight games now, 8-5. They lead the AFC North. The Bengals have won 2 straight themselves, but still just 5-7-1. They're in a must-win situation. They need to win out and get a little bit of help to advance to the postseason. We mentioned the Bengals have won 2 straight, but their 2 wins have come over Philadelphia and Cleveland, 2 teams who are really struggling. A.J. Green, Cincinnati's best offensive player, questionable for this game. He's missed the last 3 games with a hamstring injury. The Bengals badly need him to play here. Now, even if he does play, this Cincinnati offense just hasn't been very good this year. They have scored 23 points or fewer in 10 of their 13 games. And Pittsburgh, pretty good on defense. 11th in total defense, 8th in the NFL in points allowed. The Steelers surrendering just 19.7 points per game. And the Steelers even better on the offensive side of the ball. We know the Steelers have an excellent offense, and they're very balanced now that Le'Veon Bell is fully healthy and playing good football. Pittsburgh, 7th in total offense. They're top 10 in both passing offense and rushing offense. Le'Veon Bell, a monster game in the snow last week in Buffalo. And you look at this Bengals defense, not very good against the run. Cincinnati, 25th against the run, so look for Le'Veon Bell to have a big game here. Now, we know the Bengals have sort of tormented Ben Roethlisberger at times in the past, but Roethlisberger having a very good season. We mentioned the Steelers, top 10 in passing offense. They'd be top 5 in passing offense had Roethlisberger not had some injury issues there a few weeks ago. Now look, the Steelers have dominated this matchup with Cincinnati lately, especially in Cincinnati. They are 16-4-2 against the spread in their last 22 games in Cincinnati. And you look at the Bengals, not very good against winning teams. A bad bet against winning teams lately. The Bengals 0-6-1 against the spread in their last 7 games against teams with a winning record. I just think Pittsburgh is better. I know this game's in Cincinnati. I know this is a real nasty rivalry here, but I think the Steelers a better team with a much better quarterback. The Steelers starting to look like the Super Bowl contender now that we thought they were going to be heading into the season. I think they go into Cincinnati and pick up a fairly convincing win. Again, the Steelers have won 4 straight games now with all 4 of those wins coming by 7 points or more. I think they make it 5 in a row here. I like Pittsburgh -3. There you have it, folks. Those are my thoughts for this NFL Week 15. I like 3 road teams. I like the Tennessee Titans +5 on the road in Kansas City. I like the Indianapolis Colts +4 in Minnesota. And I like the Pittsburgh Steelers as a 3-point favorite on the road in Cincinnati. I wish you best of luck no matter what you decide to do in this Week 15, just so long as your interests don't conflict with my interests. Enjoy the games, folks. Should be a good week.